morning and welcome. And we're going to start with our opening song, God You Are. You might like to stand and sing. And we're short a few of our members this morning, so sing loud and help us out.
I thought it was going so well. My name is Bob White. I'm happy to be here today as your worship assistant. Thank you, Sue. As the song said, God is in everything, and he or she or it has done a remarkable job this morning. Isn't it beautiful out there? It is simply gorgeous, a foretelling of what's to come, hopefully. I'd like to welcome everyone here today, especially anyone who may be here for the first time. Thank you for taking the opportunity and the time to spend part of your Sunday morning with us, and we're glad to have you with us today. And also to people who have come regularly, some who haven't come in a while. It's good to see those faces as well, and I'm just happy to see everyone in attendance today. Let's take a moment for an opening prayer. And begin by just realizing the presence of Spirit in this room with us. That Spirit is with us, among us, and surrounds us in the sanctuary. And we are so very grateful for this day, for the sunshine and the blue sky, for the shining snow which soon will be gone, and for the springtime that we know is approaching. We thank Spirit for their presence in our lives, for leading us to our basic good, our best good at all times. And so it is. Amen. Up on the screen is our statement of unity, our affirmation for the day. If we could read it together, please. Together. One with divine mind, I realize infinite potential.
If you know this one, sing out with us. Judgment go. The Christ in me loves everything and everyone I know. God in me can do anything. Myself I know not how. God in me can do anything, and I accept it now. Day I choose fulfillment for all the world to see. As I heal my feelings, life is healing me. God in me can do anything. Myself I know not how. God in me can do anything, and
Have a few announcements to share with everyone this morning. First of all, we're very, very happy to have Reverend Judy Grimes back with us this morning. She is one of our favorite individuals, and it's always nice to have her here on this special day where we'll be installing and blessing the new Board of Trustees. Someone named Bob White will be here next week to share his thoughts with us. And if he shares his thoughts with us, it'll be one of the shortest sermons we've ever had in our lives. So I'll be very happy to be back as your speaker next week. In April, we have a great lineup, and I would like to thank Libby Robold for her exceptional work for the last year and a half of lining up speakers for us, a nice variety, bringing those back who are exceptional, as most of them are. And next month, we have Judy will be back with us on Palm Sunday, the 2nd of April. Joe Kelly will be back on the 9th. And here's one that I hope we fill every seat for. Reverend Kit Holmes will be back on April 16th. I think we all know of the physical challenges she's had of late. It will be great to have her here, and I told her to be prepared to be hugged. So it'll be nice to see her on the 16th. And then a ordained Buddhist monk, Jill Bonberg, will be with us for her first time on April 23rd. So those are what we have lined up so far for April. Have a couple of groups going this week. A Course in Miracles is meeting now every Wednesday at 6 p.m. in the Fellowship Hall. We started that group last year, at the end of the year, it was one of the suggestions that we had when we had our group conversation about what does the congregation want, what kind of programming, what kind of courses would you like. And it has grown tremendously. I think the last couple of weeks we've had 10 to 12 people, I think, in attendance. Started out with maybe 4 or 5. So it's a group for everyone. It doesn't make any difference what your experience is with the course. If you're a long-time student, if you're a first-time participant, that's great. It's just a group that helps to bring a lot of insight into where we are, what we are, and where we can go if we just think a little bit differently. Compassionate Choices is going to meet this coming Wednesday from 6:30 to 8 in the fellowship hall. The mission of this group is to envision a world of peace for all beings and to support one another in making choices that align us with our innate value of unconditional compassion. We are part of a peaceful uprising. Come join us for conversation and fellowship, and all are welcome. And it is a wonderful group. I've attended a few times, and I highly encourage anyone to participate in that. And also, Yvette has not been feeling well, so the study group that she's been doing for I Never Thought of It That Way is not meeting today, but will be back meeting again next week. We'll just tack another Sunday onto that later. March 26th from 12:15 to 1:30. In the meantime, please continue to read the book if you have it. Part 2 is Curiosity, and on our webpage or in the newsletter, there is a link to video each week. So if you have an opportunity, it's good to read that or see that video because it's very, very informative and very, very good as well. And I personally have never really gotten excited about a toilet. A toilet. But a couple of people wandered into the bathroom this morning and came out all excited. Oh, we've got our new toilets. So I'm not suggesting you go in and take a look because it is just like every other toilet you've ever seen, but it is much nicer and much newer than what we had, which I think are the original ones from when this was built around 19. Yeah, they're higher, they're easier to sit on, I've been told. They're environmentally good, yeah. There you go. There you go. So, again, feel free to use the new facilities in the toilet if you feel like it. No need to go in and look, but thank you anyway. That's all the announcements we have today.
Into thy hands I commit my spirit. Thy will is my will. Heal me at depth so that I may glorify God. Reveal that which needs to be revealed. Heal that which needs to be healed so that I may glorify God. Into thy hands I commit my spirit. Thy will is my will. Heal me at depth so that I may glorify God. Reveal that which
This is now our time of prayer and meditation. So as the lights come down, I invite you to get comfortable in your seats. Close your eyes if you like, and take a couple of deep, cleansing breaths. As you do, you can feel relaxation spreading through your body from the tip of your head down through your shoulders, your torso, down to your legs and your feet and to the floor. And from that place of relaxation, we know that Spirit is here with us. And just as the seasons change, spring, which officially begins tomorrow, comes, we are once again reminded of divine order in our lives and in our world. The seasons renew the planet each year, and it gives us an opportunity to renew ourselves as well. We may still be carrying some old beliefs about ourselves that don't serve us any longer. Things such as, I'm too old to start that. I'm too inexperienced to get that new job that I want. Or I'm too ashamed, too fearful to be loved. When we hold those thoughts, what we are doing is denying our spiritual nature. We're denying what we are as God created us. That is, we have everything we ever need. We are everything we need to be. And we have everything we need to complete the work that we are here to do. With our divine nature and our Christ presence, we can accomplish anything and everything we ever dreamed of as we co-create our world with God. As we take a moment of silence, think about one or two of those old traits that you still have with you, that you would like to release. See them gently floating away, never to be used again. And feel the peace and joy that will take their place. As we return to this moment in place and time, we offer our gratitude for all the possibilities that are available to us, for the presence of God within us, and the knowledge that with God is with us, there is absolutely nothing that we can't do. And so it is. Amen.
feel its mighty power and its grace. I can hear the hush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel its mighty power and its grace. I can hear the rush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
It's hard to stand up after the beautiful meditation and the grace chant and surely the presence. But here we are again, friends, and it's my second year to have the opportunity to install your board of trustees, and I'm delighted to do that. I think in ministry, the board of trustees is absolutely they're the heart, and they're the mind, and they are the wheels underneath the operation, and they are dedicated. I don't know if I could recall a board member ever leaving during a term, ever, because once they accept the responsibility for 3 years, for 6 years, whatever it is according to your bylaws now, they're hooked, and they're in before they're ever hooked. So this morning, then, we have that opportunity. And I am going to ask our new board if they would come forward onto the platform. First of all, Libby Robold, who is your new board president and wears many hats, as we know. Do you want to come up above or want to stay down here? It's up to you guys. Okay. Paul Carbonell, our vice president. Marianne Kachalia. It's so easy. I practiced and couldn't remember. Marianne Kachalia, our secretary. Brooke Borgeson Gray, your treasurer. Molly DeBell, board member. And missing today with the crud that a lot of people are sharing is Meg Gray, who is a board member at large. Yeah. So while Bob is preparing them for their part in this little installation, let me just say that all of you who have served on the board in the past, you're the ones I'm talking to. Could have been before my time with you. It could have been since then for sure. So if you are here and it's you served on the board of trustees, are no longer serving, please stand. Bob, you lead us in that. Look at the number and how many are not available right now. I mean, you guys are great. You're special. You're wonderful. God bless you. And Marianne and Molly are joining this year for the first time, right? And so as you look at them, know that it is on their shoulders that you stand. It's on their shoulders that we stand. Those who have gone before, and those who have gone long before we were a part of this ministry, each and every one of us, except Raleigh and Nancy. Weren't you here from day one? Okay, you stand on there, and we all stand on your shoulders then. And we are most grateful. So as former senior minister here at Unity Church of Traverse City, it is my great honor and it is my privilege to have served on the board with each of you and now to have the opportunity to install the 6 of you. I'd like to, before we officially congratulate them, I'd like you to join me in prayer as, dear God, we know and we want to reach out and bless each one of those who work so diligently and love so deeply on our behalf. We give thanks for the many ways in which your presence is expressed in and through each member of our board now, those in the past and those to come. And we're so very grateful for their giant hearts and their willingness to say, yes, yes, God, I'll do what you want me to do, be where you want me to be, and function as your steward of this ministry. And so today we affirm your unlimited blessings upon each one. We see and we know that as they surrender to your presence, God, of being Spirit-led in all they do, that your wisdom, your guidance, your strength, your love, and all whatever else may be deep within them and in the promise of the ministry, all come forth with ease and grace. And that you always receive the support from the congregation as well as from the Spirit within you, and know whatever it is, you're up to the task. May you each always remember that it is not just the work that you do, but it is the Christ within you made visible as you do this work. And for this we all give thanks. And now if you will turn to your covenant, we open our eyes. I ask you, the 5 of you, to read the first section all together, and then you're going to divide it up and each one take one, and then you'll conclude together. And this is their covenant of leadership for the ministry. Get it.
I, Molly DeBell, recognize the important responsibility I am undertaking in serving as a member of the Board of Trustees of our church. Hereby pledge to carry out in a trustworthy and diligent manner the duties and obligations inherent in my role as a member of this board. Together with fellow board members, on this 19th day of March 2023, I commit to exercise the duties and responsibilities of this position with prayer, integrity, congeniality, and care, always open to ways in which I might do my job better each day.
To hold sacred my prayer life and spiritual growth in order to embody and express the truths that I believe. To be respectful of all with whom I interact as a member of this board.
And to always hold the highest vision of what is possible with God for unity of Traverse City, its spiritual family, and our world.
We affirm this commitment as being done, and so through the power and presence of Christ within. And so it is. Amen.
Amen, and God bless you guys. You are good people. The best. Thank you. Thank you, sweetie. Do we have the words for the... We don't have... Okay. Okay. It is exciting. Isn't it interesting how much we live in our memory? As I'm doing the installation, obviously I get teary. And it's like I was doing this for the first time with my own board and wondering all the unknowns that were there, with the board. But I am most grateful to be with you today. I'm particularly grateful to my husband, Ken, who drove us down. And when everybody says, thank you, dear, smile, it was a joy, wasn't it? I just knew that I needed my full presence here, and that if I was doing that driving today and expecting the wind to be blowing the snow from the potato fields from one side to the other that I have to go through, that's the way it is, from Boyne, expecting it was going to be most difficult. Get that? Expecting. Okay, Judy was expecting the worst. Because I'd been down here Friday, and it was no fun driving home that day, I got to tell you. Or Diane. I shared that with Libby yesterday morning, I think. And you were probably teaching a class or something at the time, and very peaceful when I'm saying, Libby, it's snowing hard. I don't know, Libby, what are we going to do? All that. Here's a suggestion or two for you. Throw Bob up here today. 1 week early. See how he does there. But Libby was there. She was there with keeping the faith. Judy, it's going to be fine. It's going to be sunny. It's going to be a beautiful day. The plow guys know what they're doing. So when family member says to me, Judy, how are you going to get down there tomorrow? I say, the plow guys know what they're doing. Now, I don't think the plow guys that are hired by the town of Kalkaska know very well what they're doing. But, they did their job as best they could, and I look forward to driving home on those roads when they will be much clearer. So today I'm talking to you and bringing together the thoughts we've had as we've been looking at the idea of being part of the process of global awakening. For those of you who are with us for the first time, This study, these ideas came out of being very disturbed, very upset with what's going on in our world, the diversity, all of that. And so going to a mentor of mine, a friend, he's younger and he's newer in ministry than I am, but boy, he is wiser than ever, Jim Rosebergy, I took a class on this and Global Awakening, and I've been sharing for 3 weeks. Today's the third one. We'll skip it next week or 2 weeks for Palm Sunday, but then the next time I'm with you in April, we'll bring this to a sort of tie the package together. The point of this is found in the words that Jesus spoke to us many, many times, whether you're looking at a red letter edition, whether you're looking at a commentary on the scripture, or whether you're just reading the King James or the most recent revised standard version, we have these words. You, and that's where you hear your name, you are to funnel the light of divine love onto every person you meet and to everything you do. The light of love must shine so brightly from your heart and from your eyes that every shadow of fear is reborn into love. Every shadow of fear is reborn into love. So open your hearts to love and then help others walk this path with you to God. I think of that. I think of the thoughts that come to me as I start to write a lesson, as I come in the church, as I sit down here. And it isn't true, this is not true only in a church service. It'll be with me when I walk into the Boyne Library tomorrow to a study group meeting. I'll be saying these too. And they come from the Course in Miracles, and these are probably the most significant words that I remember. I am here only to be truly helpful, right? Many of you know this. I am here to represent him who sent me. And I do not worry about what to say or what to do, for he who sent me will direct me. Doesn't that put a lot of stuff behind you? If you can believe those words, speak them, believe them. So what we're talking about today is how do we show up in the world? Do we show up as the children of God that we believe that we are? Do we show up in our divine life, the God seed that is the core of each of our beings? Is that how we show up in the world? Or are there days when we show up like the biggest grouse this side of New York City, let's say? Or is Kurt? That's where New York City might come up. Or are we acting like a Parisian, looking down on people? You know, wherever you may have been, where you see something that, golly, this is just now, I don't know how I fit here. When those situations, or when you see it in yourself, we're talking about how do we get beyond that? How do we be the presence wherever we are? It's not always what we do, friends, and you know that. It's not what we do. It's how do we be the presence when we're pumping gas? How do we be the presence when we're watching somebody pack all of our groceries into one bag? When we hand them 3, and they put it all in one, and then she says, oh, but there's alcohol in there. I can't touch it because I'm under 18. Now, she got it in the bag, but anyway, and the little lady behind the desk at Meyer says, I can't lift it, I'm 65, and so there I am. Okay, well, I want my bag in my cart, so I will reach across and I will do this. I will do this, and we put it in here. And I think about it almost all the way home because the first thing I tell Ken is, guess what they did? Look what you see. All the canned goods are in here with the frozen food. No wonder I can't lift the thing. And then there's nothing in the other 2 bags. Criticism like that? Boy, did I wear that one. I didn't know it was still here, until it showed up just now. But there is a process, and it's a unique process that Jim taught us, and I've shared it with you all. We've spoken it together. It's been in your newsletter, the email send out each Sunday since I first introduced this. So I'm going to lead it for you, and if you know it, please join me if you've learned it by now. So the first, it's 4 short lines. All answers are spiritual. Can we say that together? All answers are spiritual. Wow. Okay, that has to do with how I drive. It has to do with how I speak up. It has to do with what we eat for dinner. It has to do with decisions we make about the stuff in our home, when we work on our wills or our trusts or whatever that is. How do these decisions All answers are always spiritual. Second one, I'm part of a peaceful uprising. Together? I am part of a peaceful uprising. Next one, it only takes a few of us. It only takes a few of us. And finally, I am one of the few. I am one of the few. See, it isn't that hard, is it? And what a difference that makes. I started this thinking these through and practicing them and having them be the core of my life in the first Saturday morning in January. And it's made a difference. It's made a difference in who I am. It's made a difference in how I deal with the things that come up in my life. So one more thought first before I go into those, and that is we have tools, and we receive those in Scripture. It's not hard to stay in the consciousness, the Christ consciousness, the presence that we're talking about. And the first, we find these in 1 Thessalonians in the 5th chapter, verses 16 to 18, if you want to read them and read them and read them again. First one is rejoice always. Now that doesn't mean frivolity. It doesn't have to mean go out there and throw confetti around. What it means is give thanks. Well, that's the third one. But it means honoring the good, honoring the joy, pausing, seeing the beauty. My Lord, I told somebody in a conversation this week, you cannot imagine how many times I lived on Maui for 9 years. I drove from my house on Haleakala down the side into Wailuku, had the whole valley, the whole island, the West Maui Mountains ahead. Many times went out to Lahaina and Kaanapali and out that way. And there was a big blue ocean there. And how did I get there and I never noticed the ocean? You know, where was I? I think it was a clerk, actually, and I were talking about this. I said, I know, you won't believe this. I didn't believe it when I'd wake up and go, how often I was so in my head with whatever was ahead or whatever I was grousing about. I like that word rather than another one that's that I shouldn't be saying right here on the pulpit. So, grousing around, all the stuff I'm hanging on to. But today we come to the place, let me get some sustenance here. Today we come to the place where we realize, whoops, there's a crossroad here. I need to be aware. I need to be alert. I need to be present to where I am in this very moment. This is the crossroads where our inner divinity, the God in which we are created, in which we live and move and have our being and seek to express, meets our humanity. The book the children study in Sunday school, some of you have taught it, is The Great Me and the Little Me. The more me, the all me, and the less than, if you would. The part of me that goes, oh my God, did I do that again? Did I think that again? There's so many scriptures. If you study the book of John during Lent, there's so many scriptures where you'll see people being in their little me, whether they're worried about ill health, whether they're worried about somebody else, whether they're fearful, whether they're hanging on to their crippled states of mind. It goes on and on symbolically. You can just read each one and say, yeah, I know, I could identify with that. You know, I could identify with that, where that part of them meets Jesus the Christ, the truth. Same thing that we do in our lives. You know, I thought, well, golly, I don't see that much here. That's what I thought when I first looked at this. And then I realized the crossroads, and I'm going to use the next word will be cave. I'm going to invite you to go into the cave through the crossroads with me and see what comes up for you. So the ones that I saw in the car while we were riding down, and then I fished for my pen, first one was judging those drivers who are pulling out on 131 out of their driveways or their roads, side roads, and starting up now so slowly that those of us who are in the parade behind all have to come down to 5 miles an hour. Now, I realized when I thought this through, they're getting their sea legs. You know, they're seeing what this road is like. But do they think of all of us? Do we have to all wait while you do this? Yes, we do. It's a one-lane each way road. You got to wait. So I was really into that. Ken's the driver. I'm not talking about it, but he did. This was all going on. He's at the wheel through this. I'm doing my thing. Then I thought about, I doubted myself. I doubted myself. I didn't get much sleep last night, and I've been real worried. You know, am I going to have anything to say? Am I going to have the energy that I like to have when I'm giving a Sunday message? Am I going to have that energy today? Oh my, oh me, oh my. You know, is it going to be there? And I didn't eat. Oh my gosh, this is really bad, God. You know, when I'm in that place where I can go into all that, oh, pity me stuff. Anybody know the pity pot? It's not the new toilets, I can tell you that. It's me all by myself. I can do that one. Get on that. What is really happening is that I'm not trusting God. My gosh. I'm forgetting that. Or when I worried about us getting down here, then I have the prayer for protection. And I did listen. Please tell Blake how much I enjoyed the talk, because I listened to it on the YouTube this week or on your Facebook, whatever it was. I got you. And I loved it. And I loved him bringing Jim Freeman and having his voice for you. And all of that basic unity. I loved it so much. In any case, did I forget that God was in charge? That I was here only to be truly helpful? That this is it. This is it. This is the life. We can't put it off, guys. We're here. I always say this. We're here for divine purpose. And so we've been given the tools. Rejoice, pray constantly, and give thanks in all circumstances. Give thanks even as you're driving on that road that appears like it could be very slippery. Give thanks that the plow that's ahead of you decides, oh, pull up my thing and take a turn and let these people through. You know, give thanks, then give thanks all of the time. Even in the health scares, give thanks that I'm with the right people and I'm doing that which I need to do to care for my body while I'm on this plane, or when I say adios to my body, when I let it go, when I lay it down. Give thanks. As my sister's coasters said, give thanks. I'm so grateful. It was a great ride, and she didn't say it that way but it was wonderful just before she passed. So Jim wrote something that was on his Facebook page this week. I don't know if Marianne, you're the one who has his books, aren't you?
I have the gathering. I don't have.
Okay. Well, he wrote these words, and I'll try to summarize them. He said, living life, I've noticed a few things, little things, where small things have their place and they really make a difference. I've noticed that more often I see from my knees rather than from a mountaintop. I've noticed the challenges that take me to a precipice, where fear and faith both stand willing to take my hand. Fear and faith driving the road, the road of life, I would say. That is the crossroads. That is the precipice. And it's a place to fall, or it can be a place to soar. When we go through those health challenges, a place to fall, a place to dive into fear and hang out there and worry. Yeah, I mean, we know it. I've been there, boy, have I been there. But I've also been in the place where the faith takes over. So he goes on to say, I've noticed hate, vengeance, blame, resentment. And you did the job you covered these in the meditation today, Bob, beautifully. They twist us. And so it's difficult to know our true self. The twisted one is the only inhabitant of this world. When we get hung up with resentment, unforgiveness, worry, doubt, fear of any kind, shape, or form, then we are twisted and we can't see the vision. We can't see the truth of all the creation. The world is small and it has no room for what's new, and so it is dying. And birth is not its way. We're not showing up as God created us to be. And he says, then I've seen these things, but what has thrilled me most is to see people who are mystically inclined live their lives. And that's what we have when we share together. That's why we come and worship together, isn't it? Sometimes one of us walks in the door. Every single time one of us may walk in the door, and we'll be the one who's down. We'll be the one who's crawling. We may not carry the placard and say, love me, but we may feel like, boy, do I need it today from you guys. You know, that kind of thing. And there's always others of us who are more level at that moment or can meet us exactly where we are. Compassion, one of the key values of this ministry, to share compassion with one another, to understand. And he closes by saying, those people may not be of this world, and I think that's what these words to global awakening, these 4 lines, take us a little above the day-to-day world and what's going on out here. And their worldly purpose then is only to help. They help not because they feel a connection to many, but because they believe there is only one. And every hand that reaches out to help another person touches the heart of the one who reaches. Every hand that reaches out touches the heart of the one who reaches. As you give, so you receive immediately. The mystically inclined are active, but their actions are born in a womb of silence. Intention. Oneness again. Their actions are born in a womb, then, of silence. And it is the moment of creation again where God speaks these words, "Let there be light," and the mystically inclined know what to do. So once again, we remember, I am the light. Each of you, please. I am the light. I am the light. I am the light. I am the light here in my kitchen. I am the light on the road. I am the light in the grocery store. I am the light in Meyer. When they say, I can't do it, I can't do it. Yeah, I can help. I can handle this. Because I don't do it alone, and on and on. We know that. And we run into those times. So today I'm really asking you, enter into this process of transformation to the very depths of your being. And if that means I got stuff to pull out, then you'll know you're not alone. You know what? I've intended to go into the carport this morning and pick up some stones right out of the carport. I mean, they are not beautiful stones like you placed in here at Eileen's installation, I believe. Or maybe it was when the mortgage was paid off. I was here that Sunday. Anyway, I remember that. Beautiful stones. And I was going to lift one out, and I'm glad I didn't, because they're there where they're supposed to be. But I'm talking right now about the stones that we meet at the crossroads. These are the things that they need to go into the rock tumbler. They need some work. They need some energy. We need to look at them hard. We need to really look at them, because you know what? They become ultimately beautiful stones like those, or the one that I did have in my pocket, because I didn't go into the carport. By the way, there was snow. Didn't deal with that. But here is a beautiful piece of quartz that is smooth on every edge. You know, my thought is we could carry one of those other stones in our pocket, and it would be a reminder of this stuff that comes up. Or we could also pick up one of these and put it in the other pocket and say, I know who I am. I know who I am. So, I'm going to ask you a few how-to questions, a few willing questions. The first one is, so my dear friends, are you willing to go into the cave? Are you willing to move forward to do whatever you need to do to be the brightest light on the planet that God created you to be? Are you willing to do that inner work? And remember, your sacred humanity will accompany you the whole way. Are you willing? Yeah, please. Then are you willing to remember that every moment is a moment of choice? I can go this way or I can go that. It's as if we're eating off of the tree of good and evil. We can go this way where I know who I am, or I can go down the rabbit hole with my stuff going on over here. Every moment is a moment of choice. Believe, believe, believe. Practice, practice, practice. Should I stumble or feel swamped in fear or resentment? Can I acknowledge this simple thing? It is what it is. It is what it is. Having the norovirus or whatever the cold is or whatever comes along, it is what it is. It's not because I was bad or that anybody else was bad because they brought the germ into my proximity. It isn't that. It isn't about being bad. It's just about, am I willing to say it is what it is? This came to pass. This is not to be carried into eternity. I lay down the backpack. I'm no longer going to carry this grief that I've had for so long with me anymore. And if we do come up to something bad, are we willing to flip it to the simple, it is, God is, I am. 3 simple things. It is, God is, number 1. God is greater than. It came to pass. And we're not trying to change ourselves. Rather, we would accept who we are and embrace who we are at the core of our being. Be loving ourselves, but doing what we're doing not only on our own behalf, but for that which would bless the planet, that which would bless all our country, that which would bless this community. And did you know Traverse City made an NBC News yesterday? Anybody see it? I saw it, and I got a call from Louisville. They saw it down there and said, do you know Traverse City was just in the news? Big spread about the snow with pictures of downtown and all that. And I thought, is that going to help people decide to move here? Or is that going to, because I have some dear friends I want up here, and they're thinking Traverse is in their plans. So, with healing questions, when we're doing this work inside, and in a moment we are going to sing the God chant again together, softly. It's a little slower than we did before. The guys will lead us. Libby will lead us in that, I think. Anyway, here's a couple things that will help. Tell me more. This is what I've discovered. This is a sharp stone in my pocket. Tell me more, God. Show me more. Show me more. So I know who I am. Today's daily word on comfort was perfect for this. It used to be that everything was all, pretty roses and everything was all positive. Not always. They acknowledge that we know the other side too. We know the dark. We are the light. And finally then, we emerge. We emerge with the entire self, whole and well and free. Show me more. Tell me more. Show me more. I want to feel this more, God. I want to feel more. I want to connect with you. So if you would, however we're going to do this, the guys will lead us into this, and we're going to sing softly the God chant again with them. If not, you just listen and pray. And this is how we end our message this morning. Into thy hands, dear God, we commit our spirits. Amen.
You have not lost a step. That was wonderful. It's always a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you, Bob.
This is now our time of offering. Excuse me. And along with it, we will bless. I'm holding in my hand our generosity check for the month. For those of you who may not know, we have a practice of generosity with the tithing for the ministry. 5% of our income each month is donated to either a unity organization or a local organization at some point that we want to support. So we'll bless that as well today. This is our time of offering. a time to share our financial gifts with the ministry. As children of a loving God, we live in the light of abundance. Deeply grateful for all that has been given and all that is to come. We embrace the good that God provides with joy and thanksgiving. Our words to the prosperity blessing are on the screen. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, Mother, Father, God. Thank you. And so it is.
Thank you, babe. Not bad. Sing of happy, not sad. Sing a song. Make it simple to last your whole life long. One day it's not good enough for anyone else to live. Just sing a the music that Carol chose, the prayer that you prayed, there was no reason to even do the talk. We don't.
That's the way it seems to work.
Yeah, it's the one. That's what it's all about. It's a God job. It's not us.
I'd like to thank everybody who is with us here today and sharing our service. I'd like to say a special thank you to the music group. They came in this morning, didn't really have, they had a clue, but they had a lot to work out. And there might have been a little bit of a high stress level before we started, but you guys did a wonderful, like I told you when we were talking, everything worked just fine, guys. Thank you. Also, thanks to everyone who was involved in the service today, to our ushers, our greeters, AJ in the back, the people who are setting up for fellowship. We have a fellowship period after the service back in the fellowship hall. If you'd like to join us, there's coffee, tea, a few snacks, and a lot of people to talk to. So we'd love to have you there. Prayer chaplains will be available after the service. Usually there's one up here and probably one out in the hall. If you have the need for individual prayer today, they're available to pray with you on anything that you're concerned with. And just one last time, congratulations and welcome to the new Board of Trustees.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and form our circle, please, for our closing. As we gather here in our closing circle, I have a brief announcement. I heard from Steve Orr this week, and he and Scylla had gone to U of M Hospital and did have the cancer diagnosis confirmed as the same as they had here in town. He hasn't got a schedule for his surgery yet, but he will be undergoing surgery in the not too distant future. So he asked that we just keep him and Scylla in our thoughts and our prayers. Steve is a good friend. They've had a year and a half that is almost unmanageable. So please, let's keep him in our prayers. To close today, we give thanks for this opportunity to share this time together, to be with one another in this spiritual community, to welcome new people into the community, and everyone who is here strengthens us in every way possible. If you have a person that you would like to keep in prayer this week, please feel free to go ahead and whisper their name if you like into the circle at this time. We now release these prayers and thoughts to the universe and to God, knowing that the best possible outcome is always in line for those who are in need. And we'll close today with our prayer for protection, which is on the screen together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.